Hi Aryan, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good. So today, what do you want to do?
In today's class, I wanna try and find the equations for trig graphs when like the graph is given for the certain equation, and write the equation in both sine and cosine, if it's in that form.
Perfect. So do you have questions to share, or should I start with my questions?
Um, I have a couple of questions. They're in the folder.
Shared folder. Oh, I see. Okay. So let me just check the shared folder. We'll share from here, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So that is the one, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So tell me, in this worksheet, what are you supposed to do?
Oh yeah, so basically like you're supposed to find the amplitude, the period, and the phase shift, and then put the equation like in terms of cosine.
Okay. So
I
what?
also want to know you.
Okay. So can you help me do the first question? Do you see the sine wave? And you can see that this sine wave starts with a maximum, right?
Yeah,
So if it starts with a maximum, that means you could write cosine function without any phase shift, correct?
yeah.
So if I'm using a cosine function, I can use without phase shift. So it says write down amplitude, period, phase shift, equation one in terms of cosine function, correct? Since
Yeah,
it has mentioned cosine function, we know phase shift is zero, correct?
yeah,
Now let's look into the amplitude. So we can begin with the axis maximum minimum and get all the parameters in one shot. So maximum is right
yeah,
there, correct?
yeah,
This is the minimum. The axis is midway. So we have 10 plus minus 10 divided by 2, as we can see, is 0. And that is the axis for us, the x-axis.
yeah,
That means in this particular case, we have the amplitude A as 10, correct?
yeah,
How far away do they go from the axis? Maximum distance, right? So that becomes
yeah.
the amplitude. So we can write down amplitude as 10 from this particular graph. Now, what do you think is the period?
I think the period is 4 pi.
Okay, so for period, we can check the value from maximum to maximum. That's
Yeah,
how
yeah,
we are doing it. We can do twice. So this is the maximum, and that is the minimum, right? So,
yeah,
so the time period t is also equal to the time where it happens at maximum minimum, which is 2 pi, that is half the period, right? Half the period is 2 pi. So
yeah,
the period is 2 pi times 2, which is 4 pi, right? So the time period
yeah,
is 4 pi, as you're correctly saying. So remember, this is half the cycle.
yeah.
So total is 4 pi, right? So up to here it is 4 pi. 1/4.
Yeah.
Correct. So the equation will be what? Can you tell me the equation now?
Yeah, y is equal to 10 cosine times 1/2 x.
Right. So k value you have to find, which is 2 pi by the time period. And so it is 2 pi by 4 pi, which gives us pi by 2. So the value of k is pi by 2.
Oh no, this is 1/2.
Sorry. Yeah, half. Correct.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay.
1/2, correct. Pi and pi cancel, 1/2. And therefore, now we can write down our equation. The amplitude for us being 10, so that is 10. And the function is cosine. The k value is half. And the parameter, we can write x. Phase shift is 0. Therefore, 10 cos half x is the equation of this particular function. Yeah?
Yeah. So I also wrote this in terms of sine just for fun because
Yeah,
like
you should.
again.
You should.
So yeah, for sine I just got y is equal to 10 sine yeah, what, yeah, y is equal to 10 sine times 1/2 x minus pi over, no, sorry, plus pi over 2. Or, yeah, plus pi over 2.
Correct. Since sine curve starts here, do you see that sine curve starts here at minus pi?
Yeah,
Therefore, the sine function will be 10 sine k value is going to be half x. Since it has moved to the left, it will be plus pi. Uh, this is pi to the left. You see that?
yeah,
So that becomes the equation for the sine function.
yeah,
So that is how we are going to write both sine and cosine function for this. So we have written also the sine function.
yeah,
So that's absolutely clear, right?
yeah, yeah.
Let me clear this and let's see the. So here, definitely we have a phase shift.
Yeah,
Let's work out. This is more interesting, correct? Earlier
yeah,
was just a trial run, right? So we'll
yeah.
find out what is the maximum, right? Let's begin by writing first the maximum, minimum, what we can easily read from here. Can you tell me what is maximum from this graph?
Yeah, it's 2,
Minimum.
-2.
So that gives us average value. So in general, we are going to write our equations in the form y equals to a sine of k x minus p plus q. Okay, phase shift plus q, correct?
Yeah,
So in this case, we can find the value of q, which is the average value. So 2 plus minus 2 over 2, which is equal to 0. The amplitude A is 2, add, subtract them, right? Which is 2 for us, and time period t. Can you tell me what is the time period for this function?
yeah. It is just pi, I think.
So it goes
Wait.
from
Oh no.
0.25 pi to what value?
Yeah. I can't really see it because like it's a little zoomed out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we'll zoom it out. So 2 pi, 2.25.
Okay, 2.2 pi. Yeah.
So 2.25 minus 0.25 pi.
Divided by 2, right?
So that is the time period. No, this is full cycle.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is 2 pi, correct? Since the time
Yeah.
period is 2 pi, the value of k will be 2 pi by 2 pi, which is equal to 1. Is it clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Now we can easily write down our equation. We have to write in terms of sine this time. And we know that the amplitude is 2, period is 2 pi, phase shift is how much? So the sine wave starts from 0.25.
Yeah, pi over 2 basically.
0.25 pi, pi over 4,
Oh, 0.25, okay.
quarter.
Yeah, yeah. So pi over 4.
Yeah. So therefore, now the equation is equal to, we can write amplitude as 2, sine wave, the k value, which is 1, right? So I'm not writing anything. And x, we move right to the value of pi by 4, correct? Is that clear to you?
Yeah.
And there is no vertical shift, and therefore that becomes our equation, correct?
Yeah.
Now, can you write down the cosine function for the same?
Yeah. So
So the cosine function has shifted
yeah.
0.75 pi to the right, and therefore the equation will be 2 cos x minus 3 pi by 4. 3 pi by
Yeah,
4.
that's why I got this one.
Perfect. So that's absolutely clear, right? Let's move on to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next graph now. Okay.
Yeah, so basically like what we just like do in school is like we know that for like if you're going from secant to cosecant or like cosecant to secant or like sine to cosine, cosine to sine, etc. Like it's always gonna be it by like a shift of pi over 2 for your like from your like previous equation. So like
Yes, yes.
that's why this did for this as well.
Yeah, it is also called co-function identity. Let me just give
Yeah,
you, yeah, it's co-function identity, right? So if I have a triangle here, right? So if this angle is theta, right? So that
yeah,
angle is what? That angle is pi by 2 minus theta, right? So that is what it is, correct? So
yeah,
the cos becomes sine. So we have cos of, we can say pi by 2 minus theta. Pi by
yeah,
2 minus theta is sine theta, right? So that is how it is, correct? So that is how we work on these identities. So there's a phase shift of pi by 2 between the two. Or you can also see from here that if I sketch a graph of the sine function starts like this, correct? As far as the cosine function is concerned, cosine function will start like this,
yeah,
correct? So you see that actually the maximum of cosine is pi by 2 earlier, a quarter of the cycle earlier, right? So this is t by 4, quarter of the cycle earlier.
yeah,
So when you have 2 pi, in that case, this quarter is pi by 2. Is it okay? So basically,
yeah,
it's not pi by 2, it is quarter of the cycle. So we say that cosine leads sine by quarter of the cycle.
yeah.
So t by 4 is key, right? So that is the relation between the two. Is it okay? Leads.
Okay, yeah,
Perfect. So let's clear this and quickly go through the next question, which right there, graph is there. So we'll write down what is the amplitude, but let's find the maximum first. And since the axis is 0, you can directly read the amplitude, right? So that
yeah,
becomes the amplitude itself. So this time I'm going to write amplitude directly, and period, we can check two values which are in the similar position. So we are checking two minimums, and these are at pi, correct?
yeah.
Phase
So
shift,
that's the zero period.
yeah. And we are looking into the sine function. Sine function starts from the axis, and the phase shift is
Pi.
0.25 pi,
So this pi, yeah. So this pi over 4.
pi over 4. And therefore, the equation will be what? It will be 10 sine, and let's also add one column here for k, right? So unless and until you have the value of k, you cannot really sketch the graph, right? So which is 2 pi
Yeah.
by time period t, and k for us here is 2 pi by pi over
Pi.
4, right?
Wait. Okay. Yeah.
So it is 8 pi, 8, right?
Yeah.
So sine of 8x,
No, isn't it?
sorry,
No, it's 2, isn't it? Because your period is equal to 2 pi over b. So then your b value is
I
just
took the phase, you're right, pi, you're right. You're right.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I read this phase shift.
No, no, no. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait. So to write down the sine function, we have to find the value of k. So from period, we can find the value of k as equal to 2 pi by pi, which is 2, right? And now we'll write down our equation, correct? So
Yeah.
amplitude of 10, we want this sine function, which is equal to k value of 2, and within bracket x minus the phase shift, uh, which is pi by, this is a phase shift, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pi by 2. And the axis is 0. So that is what we get. Oh, sorry. Phase shift is quarter by 4. Wait. Sorry. Phase
Oh,
shift is
that's fine.
quarter, pi by 4. This is the phase shift for sine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's write down the cosine function. So cosine function will be what? For cosine function,
Um. Yeah.
can you tell me please?
Yeah. It is y is equal to 10 cosine 2 times x minus pi over 2.
Correct, because this is for cosine function, right? So we just pi by.
Yeah.
Perfect. So it's easy for you now, right?
Yeah.
Great. Let me clear this and we'll move on to the next graph.
Okay.
There you go. So can you now tell me all the values?
Yeah. So your amplitude is this 2.
Remove this a bit. Yes, amplitude is 2. Since x is 0. And what is the period?
Yeah. Your period is just 6.0.67, so 2/3, I think.
Yes, 2/3.
And then your phase shift is I don't is no, there's no phase shift.
No,
Oh no.
cosine. Cosine.
Oh yeah, it's cosine. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, there's a phase shift.
1/3, right?
1 point, yeah, 1/3. And
Right.
then your equation is just y is equal to 2 times 3 times x.
So let me add
Yeah,
the k value here. K value will be 2 pi over 2/3, correct?
yeah.
Equals to 3 pi. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Therefore, we get the cosine function as the amplitude of 2 cos of 3 pi x minus 1 by 3. Is that clear to you?
Yeah.
See, this function we could have written as minus cosine also. So I could have started from here and I could have written this as minus 2 cos of 3 pi x. You get it?
Yeah.
In that case, the phase shift is incorporated taking minus as the function. Now, can you tell me what could be the sine function for this?
Yeah. So we have it as y is equal to 2 cosine 3 pi.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. So y is equal to 2 sine times 3 pi times x minus 1. Wait, no. Yeah, I got y is equal to 2 sine times 3 pi times x minus 1/3 minus pi.
1/6. Because see, sine
Yeah.
starts from this place, which is 1/6. Is it okay?
Yeah, okay. It's fine.
Look at the graph. It is easier.
Yeah, it is
1/3
1/6.
was
Yeah.
cosine. Correct. Perfect. Okay, great. So
Yeah, so you have your amplitude as 4. No, sorry, 3. 3 is your amplitude.
So I will prefer to write down the given values. So we'll say what is the maximum
Yeah.
value. Is that okay? Now this is better. Earlier was easier. Maximum is -1. What is the minimum value?
-7.
So that gives you the amplitude A
Oh, wait.
as square
Yeah.
of -7 divided by 2, -1 -7, which is 1 plus -1 plus 7 divided by 2. So 6 by 2 is 3, right?
3,
The
yeah.
amplitude of 3, correct? Now, what is
Yeah.
the time period T?
It's just 4.
Correct, is 4, and therefore K value will be 2 pi by 4 or pi by 2. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So period is 4, and I'll write here K is equal to pi by 2, correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
We want to have a cosine function since starts with maximum, phase shift is 0, correct?
Yeah.
Now the average value, which is the axis, is where? It is at in between the two at what point? So you can add them, divide by 2, right? So let's calculate the axis -1 plus -7 divide by 2, which is -8 divided by 2 or -4. So we have axis at -4, right? So let me add here axis.
Okay.
And now we can write down the equation, correct?
Yeah.
Tell me, what is the equation?
Yeah. Y is equal to 3. Oh, sorry.
3 cos k value of pi by 2, and then we
Sorry
have
about that. Yeah.
x, no phase shift, but we have shifted up vertically, down rather, by 4 units. So that becomes the equation of this particular graph. Clear?
Yeah.
If you have to write the sine function, how will you write it?
Um.
Sine function.
Oh, sine. Okay.
The sine starts here, right?
Yeah.
So y equals to 3 sine
3 sine. Yeah, pi over 2 times.
x. And what is the phase shift? Quarter of the cycle. Do you see that?
Yeah,
So it is 1 unit, right?
yeah,
One, since that is on the left side. Do you see the
yeah,
left?
yeah.
So that is how you can get this particular equation also, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll clear this and now we'll get into the next graph.
Okay.
So so graphs are over for you now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, what is the next
Yeah,
step?
yeah, I'm good with all the other stuff. I just wanted to like look at the graphs. So if you want to move on from this worksheet, then that's fine as well.
Okay,